My friend, the Buffalo Bills are about to shake up the NFL in a way no one expected. With the season starting in less than 2 weeks, hot rumors indicate that the Bills could go after a 1,000-pound receiver from the Las Vegas Raiders and completely transform their offense. Meanwhile, the team is also saying goodbye to veterans on defense, leaving hints that something big is brewing behind the scenes. But here's the real confidence. Sean McDermott, with a history of regular season dominance, is still seeking his first Super Bowl, and Josh Allen is ready to prove once again that he's an elite quarterback capable of leading Buffalo to a title. Wondering how this storyline will unfold? The Buffalo Bills enter Week 1 with a revamped roster, but behind the scenes, something bigger is brewing. The hallway chatter has turned into heated speculation. Could the Bills be about to make a bold move in the trade market and bring in Las Vegas Raiders wide receiver Jakobi Meyers? The name doesn't come up by chance. Meyers, fresh off a 1,000-yard season, has asked to be traded, according to insider Ian Rappaport. He even met with Raiders executives to discuss a new contract, but the meeting ended in a stalemate. The franchise, which was initially reluctant to part with its most productive receiver, is now feeling the pressure, and where there are cracks, there is opportunity. Buffalo, a time when it never seems to be able to afford the firepower to maximize Josh Allen, is paying attention. The logic is simple. If Meyers managed to rack up 87 receptions and over 1,000 yards with average quarterbacks like Aiden O'Connell and Gardner Minshew, imagine the damage he could do with Allen firing clinical passes his way. It would be like turbocharging an already powerful engine, pushing the Bills to another level of experimental threat. But every ambition comes at a price. Early speculation points to a package involving wide receiver Curtis Samuel and defensive tackle Dwayne Carter, plus late-round picks. A curious detail: both were already threatened with being cut. Samuel arrived surrounded by hype, but never truly adapted to Buffalo's system. Carter, meanwhile, saw his position become more complicated after the arrival of Jordan Phillips, who practically took over his defensive end spot. In other words, the Bills were turning surplus pieces into an instant upgrade. And here comes the turning point. Jakobi Meyers isn't just numbers. He knows how to break free, win contested receptions, and convert third downs that keep drives going. He's the kind of receiver quarterbacks love: safe, reliable, and dangerous. For Josh Allen, already a natural creator of unlikely plays, having someone with that profile alongside Khalil Shakir could transform the offense into a nearly unstoppable machine. For Bills Mafia fans, this possibility is like music. A team that has flirted with glory for seasons may finally be finding a missing piece. Meyers would be more than a reinforcement. It would be a statement. A clear message that Buffalo isn't satisfied with just competing, but with dominating. And time is crucial. The season is about to start. Phones are on fire, and every decision can change the narrative of an entire campaign. Will the accounts really take this bold step? The rumor mill is about to become reality. But while all eyes are on the offense and the possible arrival of Meyers, another piece of news is gaining traction in the Buffalo locker room. A revelation that directly affects the secondary and exposes how fragile the balance of this roster is. But if the trade rumors on offense have already left the fans excited, on defense the bombshell was even more surprising with the departure of a well-known veteran. Buffalo fans, hold on tight. The news dropped like a bombshell in the locker room and shook the fans' confidence. The Bills have released veteran cornerback Dane Jackson, a decision that, at first glance, seems incomprehensible. Jackson wasn't just a backup. He represented security, experience, and stability in a position shrouded in uncertainty. In a time where the specter of minor injuries looms, losing that name feels like a huge risk. Tre'Davious White, the heart and soul of the Bills' defense, remains shrouded in mystery. Carried off on a stretcher during training camp, his status remains uncertain. General Manager Brandon Beane described it as a minor leg injury, but no one dares to set a timetable. On the other side, Maxwell Hairston also limped off the field, having undergone non-contact knee surgery. He narrowly avoided being sidelined for the entire season, eluding details. Even so, a shadow of doubt remains. It is precisely in this scenario that Jackson's absence weighs even more heavily. He was a security policeman, the player who knew the system, who could be called upon at any moment without compromising the defensive structure. So why let him go now? There's no official explanation, but theories are beginning to take shape. One possibility is optimism. Perhaps the coaching staff has information the fans don't yet. A speedy recovery for White, more positive than imagined. Another theory is a bet on youth. Names like Jamarcus Ingram and Dorian Strong drew attention during training camp, demonstrating talent and confidence above the media. Cutting Jackson could be a sign that the Bills are ready ready to hand the keys to the secondary to these youngsters, believing they can handle the pressure right away. Some even argue it's strategic, releasing Jackson now only to bring him back through practice time if there's no external offer. In any case, the decision has an immediate effect. Christian Benford takes over as CB1, while Strong and Ingram shoulder responsibilities few believed would fall to them so soon. If White returns in time, the move will seem bold but brilliant. If not, Buffalo could pay dearly. The first test is already knocking. Lamar Jackson and the Ravens' passing attack await in Week 1, ready to exploit any flaws in this revamped secondary. The truth is, the Bills Mafia knows the front office's modus operandi well. Brandon Beane and Sean McDermott don't make impulsive moves. Every decision is strategic, often based on information that isn't publicly available. Dane Jackson's release may be shocking, but it may be part of a larger plan. A mystery that will only be revealed as the season progresses. And while the draft boards are hastily reorganizing, the AFC isn't waiting. A rival powerhouse has just strengthened its own defense, increasing the pressure and making it clear that the title race will be relentless. Time is running out, and Buffalo needs to prove that this risky move wasn't a mistake, but rather the start of something bigger. In Miami, the Dolphins pounced. Former Bills cornerback Rasul Douglas is heading south on a one-year, $3 million contract. Miami desperate for secondary help after injuries to Kader Kohu and Artie Burns, plus the surprising release of Mike Hilton, signed a proven veteran. Douglas, who started 80 games with 14 interceptions between 2021 and 2023, brings leadership, ball skills, and the ability to immediately assume a starting role. For Buffalo, the pain is real. Douglas was a midseason acquisition in 2023 who immediately stabilized the secondary. Now, he's preparing for a division rival with the potential to face Josh Allen twice this season. The AFC East board has shifted again, and every move matters. But the big story emerging isn't just about Douglas or Miami. It's about Sean McDermott, the man tasked with leading Buffalo to glory. As the 2025 season begins, doubts about McDermott's future are higher than ever. Yes, he boasts 5 consecutive AFC East titles, 7 playoff appearances, and a stellar 86-45 regular season record. However, his postseason failures are staggering. 7-7 in playoff games, with disappointment after disappointment, especially at the hands of the Kansas City Chiefs. McDermott's critics point to poor game management, conservative decisions, and late-game collapses. The 13 seconds debacle against Kansas City in 2022 still haunts Buffalo fans. More recently, questionable play calls in last year's AFC Championship game and other close contests have raised doubts. The reality is clear. In professional sports, consistency is celebrated, but championships define legacies. And that's where McDermott finds himself now, at a crossroads. With Josh Allen, fresh off an MVP season and a 6-year, $330 million contract, Buffalo's window is wide open. The franchise has the talent, the quarterback, and the ambition. What's missing is the final breakthrough. If McDermott doesn't make the Super Bowl this year, the rumors about his job security will change course. The stakes couldn't be higher. The Bills' rivals are making failed moves, and the negative consequences, uncertainty, and pressure on McDermott have reached a fever pitch. For Buffalo fans, this season isn't just another chapter. It's the defining moment of a story nearly a decade in the making. As Week 1 approaches, questions swirl. Will Buffalo be able to sign Jacoby Myers and introduce a new offensive weapon? Will the second offensive weapon be able to survive without Dane Jackson? Is Sean McDermott truly the coach who finally moved the team to the promised land? Do you think Butt Boy Asa for sale needs to go all in on a Jacoby Myers trade even after Dane Jackson's departure and seeing Rasul Douglas bolster the Dolphins? Or will the real test be whether Sean McDermott can finally take this time to the Super Bowl? Leave your opinion here, and don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. I'll be back later to update you with the latest Buffalo Bills news.